Hello peeps, this is Tango and welcome back to Tango's World of Fics. Today I'll be reading The Verdant Analyst, Chapter 11, Conspiracies, Tea, Theories, Maltrick, and a Sakura Tree. Summary. Confessions? Yes. Conspiracies? Also yes. Angst? Of course. This is quite the chapter. There is notes at the end of the chapter as well. Here is the chapter, okay. Izuku wakes up to the warm smell of katsudon drifting through the air. He sits up with a groan, rubbing his eyes as they adjust to the light. He turns to see Katsuki cooking in the kitchen. It's comforting to see him first thing in the morning. Katsuki skillfully puts the katsudon in a bowl and walks towards him holding the plate of food. Morning, sleepyhead, you've been resting for a while. I swore that you would look dead when you sat up on the bed. Did you know you talk in your sleep? Tell me though, who's this mystery guy? He passes the food to Izuku, whose mouth is now watering. Morning, Katchan. I didn't know that. The mystery guy is you, of course, he says, accepting the food. He grabs the chopsticks and stuffs mouthfuls into his mouth. Katsuki pauses, staring at Izuku, and then grabs his bowl of food. Izuku looks at his friend. Are you blushing? He asks. He realizes that whatever he had said in his sleep about Katsuki must have been embarrassing to him. He puts down his chopsticks. Sorry. Katsuki glances up from his food. Why the hell are you apologizing? Oh, I thought I maybe said something embarrassing in my sleep, or I don't know, he says, blushing from embarrassment. Sorry. Don't fucking apologize when there is no reason to, he says loudly, grabbing his chopsticks and eating katsudon. They finish eating in silence, and Izuku does the dishes since Katsuki made the food. Let's go outside, Takachan, Izuku says, grabbing his friend's hand and pulling him up from his seat. Katsuki grumbles in response, and they head outside. There was no need to dye his hair since it was black from the day before. No worries. None. Izuku brings Katsuki to a nearby park, and they sit under a sakura tree, and they laugh. They talk about everything and nothing. The silence had gone on for a while after they had talked. But it wasn't the bad kind of silence. It was calming, and the air smelled sweet from the trees. Izuku glanced towards Katsuki only to meet his eyes. Katsuki had been staring at him, and he hadn't noticed. Not that it matters. Katchan, I wanted to tell you something. Katsuki nods, and he continues. You know, we've known each other for a long time, and ever since I escaped my father, you've always been there for me. You're like my protector, and I like you, a lot. He says, I think I am in love with you. He takes a deep breath. So, will you date me? He says, closing his eyes, scared of the response he would get. He had never asked anyone to date him, and he had no idea if that was even how you were supposed to do it. Maybe you were supposed to go on a date first. He had been isolated for so long, and he hadn't been working on learning any of this. He had no reason to. It wasn't in any of the work he was supposed to learn for school. So how was he supposed to know? There's a short silence, though it feels like almost an eternity before Izuku gets an answer. You damn nerd. You fucking beat me to it! I was planning on confessing this fucking weekend! Izuku blinks. What? So, does that mean... Yes, I'll date you, you motherfucker! He says loudly, turning Izuku beet red from embarrassment. You're so loud, Katchan, he says, smiling in defeat. The first thing Aizawa noticed the next day when school resumed was that Katsuki Bakugo was different. The USJ had been on Wednesday, and Thursday school had been canceled, so school resumed on Friday. After noticing what he saw, he also noticed more things. The signs of PTSD were the most easy to see. Something else that had changed from this event was that the class was now closer to each other than ever. They seemed more anxious and protective of each other, not that it was a bad thing. And Bakugo had considerably fewer signs of PTSD, but it was still there. What he started to notice is Bakugo started to act differently in the way that it reminded him of himself when he had started dating Hisashi. That must be why he snuck out of the hospital. They asked the kids to stay in the hospital rooms even though they didn't need it. They wanted to make sure they were all okay before releasing them. And it was strange, but sure, he would do the same thing so he could be with Azashi. He decided it would be best to contact his most reliable source of information, his trainee. He couldn't trust the other students. They would all probably make up their scenarios, plus Bakugo likely didn't want anyone else to know if he was in a relationship, and it would be fun to watch them figure it out. After a training session, they decide to go to the Vigilant Cat before they parted for the day. So, do you know if Bakugo's in a relationship? He deadpans, causing a confused glance from his trainee. He continues. He reminds me of myself when I started dating my husband, and he tries to hide it, and it's not very noticeable, but I was scanning the class for anything from the USJ incident. Oh, that makes sense, and no, I don't know. I have an idea of who it could be, and it is clear to Aizawa that he won't be getting any more information than that. It wouldn't be long till the class knew as well. But also knowing that Katsuki Bakugo could have relations with the ducklings and that he might be dating someone, and the fact that Aizawa himself didn't notice gives him the feeling that he's missing something big. However, that would have to wait. He had an announcement to do. He's talking about the sports festival, by the way. They don't really tell you anything else other than that anyways. Shota Todoroki has always been one to make assumptions, or rather theories. He theorizes that All Might's secret love child is Mirio Togata. He theorizes that his dead brother Toya is alive, and since there was no body found, it makes sense. Another is that his teacher has a boyfriend who is President Mike. Part of that theory is that his classmate Hitoshi Shinzo is their child, likely adopted. Those are his main theories, the most likely ones that he believes in. Recently, his gaydar had been going off, and it was for none other than Katsuki Bakugo. His theory is that Bakugo is dating someone, and they likely don't go to UA. The only people who have caught on to the change are Mr. Aizawa and Shinzo. He believes that his teacher knows because his son Shinzo told him. You seem deep in thought. What are you thinking about? Mina says, cheerfully as she walks over, getting the attention of Kirishima, Sero, and Denki. I'm thinking of a theory of mine. He answers nonchalantly. Ooh, spill! I want to know the tea. If I had known you had tea and theories, I would have talked to you sooner. You seem kind of down, or whatever, but this school has, no drama and, no tea, so it's so boring, but I want to stir up trouble and find out secrets, Mina says, jumping excitedly. Oh, okay. It's about Bakugo, he says, and he sees Kirishima look around for him. Bakugo is still in the bathroom, so Kirishima sighs and walks closer to hear. Bakugo? Sero, Denki, and Mina say simultaneously. How do you manage to get anything on Blasty? Mina says to Todoroki. I pay attention. Did none of you notice? He says questioningly. Mina blinks confused. Notice what? I noticed, Kirishima says to them. Denki turns to him. Seriously? Kirishima nods. He hasn't been yelling as much, and he hasn't been calling people extras, though the nicknames remain. I think it's super manly. Yes, I noticed that as well. I believe that he might be dating someone, and I think that Aizawa and Shinzo know who it is or have met the person, Todoroki tells them. But don't you have proof? Or if not, how do you even know? Sero questions. I saw him texting love you on his phone, and the other person had written something about going to their place, and Google blocked my view so I couldn't read it all. Todoroki says, and their eyes widen. So that's where he went, Kirishima mumbles. He's coming! Act normal! Mina says, before anyone can ask Kirishima any questions. Bakugo walks up to Mina, and she turns to him. Can I have your number? I got everyone else's, but you walked off before I could ask, so, I'm making a group chat for the class. Sure, he mutters, and pulls out his phone, exchanging numbers with Mina. Todoroki discreetly looks over Bakugo's shoulder as he adds Mina's number to his phone. He spots the only pinned contact. It's labeled Shh, Hanako, heart. The sh is an emoji, by the way. So he was right. Sero sees what he is doing and pulls out his phone to text him. It wasn't just him, it was a group chat. It seemed Mina had made the chat while Bakugo was adding her phone number to his phone. It's called Conspiracies, Tea, and Theories. Sero. Todoroki saw over Bakugo's shoulder. Denki. Did you see anything interesting? Tell us, bro! Kirishima. ... Todoroki. He has someone named Hanako in his contacts. What? It's a guy? Denki expresses loudly, and that he did not expect that. Why are you yelling in my motherfucking ear? Bakugo yells at Denki. What the hell are you even talking about? You all seem so off, Bakugo says, annoyed. Todoroki thought it would be best to change the subject. Do you have a pocket knife with you right now? Katsuki was confused. Why the fuck would I? Todoroki looks genuinely surprised. You seem the type. Bakugo almost explodes. Listen here, you peppermint bastard! Peppermint? Wow, you're evolving, he says nonchalantly. I'll kill you! Bakugo yells, popping explosions in his hands. Explosions popping in his hands. Whatever. Okay. Doo-doo. It was the weekend, and Izuku and Katsuki had just come back from their first date. They had gone to a couple's cafe, Katsuki Street. They had gone early in the morning so that they could get there before everyone else. It was very popular. They were walking up the stairs, currently on Tango Celeste's floor, when they heard running. Tango is running at them, and Celeste is walking behind her. Finally! Oh my fucking god! We've been looking for you everywhere! And we've been waiting for you both to confess to each other! It was he's just a friend situation, and it was tragic to watch! Tango declares, exasperated. Agreed. It took you both a while, Celeste says, reaching where they were. How did you know we were on a date? Izuku blushes from embarrassment. We didn't. Now we do, Celeste says, snickering as Tango nods. You two heading out? Katsuki says in a gruff voice. Oh, yes. Celeste and I are going to the mall with Irene and Amane, Tango explains. Can we join? Izuku says, stars in his eyes. Yeah, you can totally come, Celeste says with a kind smile. No, the mall is boring. Plus, some of the kids in my class were planning on going shopping today. I told them no and I was busy so I could hang with Izuku, Bakugo states. God-chan, you didn't have to do that. Oh, he loves me so much. Also, I want to go, please, he says with puffy dog's eyes. Oh my god. Ugh. Whatever. Fine. He rolls his eyes and Izuku beams at him. You need to grab anything? Tango asks them. Nope, we're good. Izuku responds and Katsuki nods behind them. Let's go then. It's a bit of a walk, but we want to keep Amane and Irene from waiting too long, right? Tango starts down the stairs. Right, Izuku says, smiling. They head to the mall. So where to first? Amane says as they enter the mall. Well, I gotta get some groceries, so let's head over there, Irene says, pointing towards the store she wanted to go to. Ooh, yeah, I'm running low on supplies as well, Izuku says as they walk to the store. After buying things, they are pulled away from the store by Tango and Celeste and brought to an open area where all the gacha machines are. Oh my gosh, they have a kitsune I want to sell, she says excitedly. Celeste turns to Tango. Seriously? The two of them walk to the gacha machine. Can you please give me some money? Tango pleads, and Celeste sighs. Don't you have your own money? Bakugo says judgmentally to Tango. She does, but I keep it so she doesn't spend it all, Celeste says, giving Tango enough coins for the both of them to get a gacha ball from the machine. That's fucking stupid. You're like her mother. Bakugo crosses his eyes. More like her older sister, she sighs. Tango is older than me, she whispers to them so that Tango doesn't hear. Her birthday is soon, and it's the 28th of April, so I gotta get her something. What? Why did no one tell me? Izuku says, and then pulls Celeste away from where they had been standing, away from Katsuki. Ka-chan's birthday is the 20th. What can I get him? Izuku whispers. Well, we can go through the whole mall, and if you see something you think he'll like, we can buy it. It'll be a surprise, so just let me and Tango know, and we'll cover for you. She walks back over to where Katsuki was. What the hell are you two talking about? The blonde asks. Tango's birthday. She lies easily enough, though technically it was not a lie. Izuku chooses to stay quiet. He's not the best liar when it comes to his boyfriend. Sally got them! The black one and the white one! Matchies! Tango exclaims, handing Celeste the black kitsune figure. Awesome, Celeste replies, happily taking it from her hands. I want to get one for Irene. Maybe a cute little drink one? Tango says, acting like a child asking to go to a sleepover. Irene had gone to the bathroom with Amane. They always used the buddy system since it was the best way and it was easier to keep everyone safe. After the gacha machine gave Tango the wrong thing, she gave it to Celeste and tried again, turning the handle and taking the ball when it fell from the hole. This time, she succeeded. When Irene and Amane came back, Tango gave Irene the keychain with the iced coffee. She gave the one to Celeste that was the iced tea keychain. Celeste walked over to Amane. I know your favorite drink is Earl Grey tea, but Tango got this iced tea keychain. Do you want it? She asks, holding it out in her hand. Sure, thanks, they say, taking the keychain. Ooh, do you want to get one, Kachan? We can get matching ones, Izuku says exuberantly. Sure, whatever you want, nerd, he says, smiling fondly as they walk to the front rows of the machines, though he would never admit it. I'm going to head to the tech store. I also got to get some wires and supplies for my projects, Amane says to the group. Why don't we join you? Celeste suggests. Sounds good to me, Irene says, and Tango nods to them. We'll meet you guys in a few. We're going to get some gacha. How about we meet at the costume shop when we're all done? Izuku says, looking towards his friends. Okay, Tango says, and they walk off. After a few minutes of looking through the gacha machines, Izuku found the one that they could both do, and Katsuki had as well. They inserted their coins and got the matching gacha. They walk into the first store, hardware and supplies. Amane goes to find what they need, and Celeste and Irene look around. Amane bumps into someone, making them drop what they were holding. Oh, sorry. Don't worry about it, the girl with pink hair says as she picks up her electrical wires. Whoa, are you an inventor? They asked the girl. She had goggles and tools and seemed like she was the type. Yep, she says. You? Yeah, same, but I'm more online for projects, like hacking and programming. So what's that for? They respond. Nice! Well, this is for one of my babies, she says, smiling widely. What? They say, confused. My inventions, of course! Right, that makes sense. They said the two part ways. Whoa, dude, is that Bakubro? Kirishima says, stopping them in their tracks. OMG, it is! The group was currently inside a cat cafe on the second floor of the mall. They were at the window where the cats would hang out in the cat stands. Bakugo had said he was busy and couldn't join them. That must be Kanako. Todoroki deadpans. Kaminari yelps. Todoroki! Oh my god! What are you doing here? Shopping, hanging out with the cats, he responds. Nice to see you, man, Sarah says to him. So this is the famous Hanako, Mina mumbles to herself. We should go say hi, she concludes, standing up. Shouldn't we leave them alone? They're like on a date. Kirishima says, no, they're with a group. The group left, but they're going to meet up again soon at a different store. Todoroki senses that they would be confused as how he knew this, so he continued. I read their lips. That's so manly that you can do that. That's like awesome. But we should probably respect their privacy, Kirishima says, standing up. Let's go before they leave, Kaminari says, and so they get their shoes and leave the cats in favor of meeting Bakugo's boyfriend. Hey, Bakubro, Kirishima shouts, running over to him. So this is why you said you were busy. You had a date, Mina says to the couple. Bakugo glares, but it does not go unnoticed by Izuku. Kachan, Why don't you introduce me? He says, nudging his boyfriend's side. To the naked eye, everything was completely fine, but to Katsuki, it was like all hell was about to break loose. Izuku was mad at him. He had told him to be nicer to his friends, so if he didn't shape up soon, this would likely be the last thing he would ever hear from Kachan. Mina is dying from cuteness. She did not expect her friend's boyfriend to be such a cute ball of sunshine. He really didn't seem the type for Blasty. This is Hanako Suzuki, he sighs. This is Mina Ashido, Eijiro Kirishima, Denki Kaminari, Shota Todoroki, and Sero Hanata. Wait, Hanata? Okay, something like that. Izuku scans over them and stops at Kaminari. So you're the one Shinzo was talking about, he mumbles, though Mina thinks that she's the only one that caught him. Maybe Todoroki did as well. You know Shinzo? Mina asks. Oh, Hitoshi? Yeah, we saw each other on the way to school often. We're friends, he says. First name baseness. They must be very close. Can't believe I didn't hear about him recently, Mina thinks to herself. Do you know Aizawa-sensei? Todoroki asks Hanako. There's a pause. Well, I saw him when I walked Kachan and Hitoshi to school the other day, but I don't really know him. I only know him from what Hitoshi has told me, Hanako replies. Todoroki looked as if he was deciphering a code, but she didn't care because that was currently irrelevant. Plus, she could ask later. We have to go meet with some others, Bakugo says, and pulls Izuku away, who frantically says goodbye to not be rude. Are you all thinking what I'm thinking? Kaminari says, staring at the couple walking off. Kirishima knows the glint in his eyes. No. Let's follow them! Mina and Kaminari says, and they run off, following the couple who had just disappeared around the corner. The rest of the group follows. They go to a store across the street from the costume store just to watch them. It's a shoe shop. I feel like I've seen them somewhere, Mina says, and Todoroki and Sero nod. About the other ducklings, that's what they're talking about. They watch in silence from the shoe shop, receiving a few confused glances from the worker since they weren't even trying or looking at any of the shoes. The interaction got boring fast for the group since it was very normal. Soon enough, Bakugo and his boyfriend and the whole group had walked out of the costume shop, and they followed them throughout the mall as the group went to various shops and even to a cafe. After getting bored out of their minds, they decided just to leave them, and so that they could be at peace. And they still didn't have a clue to whether Bakugo was dating someone or not, but they thought that could really just be the only possibility. So they left. Finally, they're gone, Amane says, putting his phone away. I can't believe your friends followed us around, Celeste says to Bakugo. They're not my fucking friends, Bakugo says loudly. Whatever. Izuku says, and he didn't mind, as long as it wasn't a villain or the police. They hear sirens. Police sirens. The group turns to Izuku, who laughs awkwardly. Sorry. Bad luck. A man comes through the door and runs towards the group, and before he can notice, Amane is being grabbed and held at gunpoint. Izuku noticed the guy was fast, and he was smart. You could tell by the way he walked and the way he scanned everything. Black hair, a suit, red eyes. Well, they were tinted red. He had candy, particularly a lollipop in his pocket. Candy, a gun, suit, black hair, eyes tinted red. This guy was the teacher. The police came, but they couldn't come any closer because the man had a hostage. His quirk was bad luck, but that didn't mean it affected everything. The teacher was facing the police, fortunately for them. The teacher, a well-known killer who used to be a teacher before he killed a few of his students. One of his students had a time quirk which he used to save one of the victims, who is alive to this day. That student also wrote a book that Izuku had read. The book was called Erased, and it told the journey of... And it told his journey to save his classmates. Recently, however, the teacher killed some more kids after escaping jail. There was no doubt he would kill Amane. So, what did he have to do? He had to get them away from this killer now. Izuku looked at his boyfriend before quietly hitting a pressure point on the back of the teacher's head. The man fell, dropping the gun, knocked out. The police looked at each other confused, and for a second, they just stood there. Then they all rushed towards the now unconscious serial killer. They got the man in handcuffs and brought him away, and soon 2 people approached them. "Hello, my name is Detective Tsukauchi Nomasa, and this is Sanza Tamakawa, my associate," the detective says, bowing slightly. "I understand you were all here when this incident happened?" They nod. "Okay, I would like to take your statements of what happened. I mean, it's standard procedure." Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's horrible. Oh, I can't read. First off, the cameras caught most of what happened, but we don't really know everything because the man who attacked you, he gestures to Amane, fell unconscious. Did one of you knock him out, or do you have a quirk that was used in this situation? My name is Hanako Suzuki. I knocked him out. I'm 15, quirkless. I used a technique I learned in fighting lessons, he says to the detective. This is true because he was diagnosed quirkless. The detective peers at him. "Have we met before?" "No, sir," he answers, and the detective writes something down. Lie. It's a lie. The talk between the detective and Amane goes well, and by the end, Izuku is sure that the detective likes Amane. That's nice. They continue taking their statements, and Detective Tsukauchi takes Amane to the side for a moment, and when Amane comes back, they return holding a card. When Izuku asks about the card, they say that the detective offered them to train under him as an apprentice. After they all head home, they are exhausted. It was a long day. Once they get back, they decide to have dinner together, and they eat as a group. They chat about the day and comfort Amane, and just spend the rest of the day chilling. 3:30 a.m., Celeste's room. Celeste wakes up to a knock on her door. She groans and gets out of bed. She is tired. She opened the door only to see Amane in their pajamas. "Hey, can I come in?" "You good?" she says, now more awake. "Yeah, come in." She leads them to her bed. I had a nightmare about the incident today. Could I stay here with you?" Amane says, stressed. They never acted this way before. Yeah, you can sleep here. It'll be a sleepover." She gets into bed next to them. "It's not weird, bro. Shut up. It's a big bed. There's space between them." That's in parentheses. Oh my God, I can't talk. Ugh. Anyways. "Thanks." They say, falling asleep once they lie down. Celeste sighs and goes back to bed. She hopes they will be able to rest well. The Decklings have seen too much for their age. No kid should have to worry about their life constantly. No teen should be worried about dying or saving lives. They should be worried about school and crushes and things like that. Poor Amane, this isn't even the worst thing that even happened to him. They have trauma that no one knows about. Hopefully they'll be able to open up someday. Maybe to a certain someone? Celeste, maybe? Ooh. "Yeah, I just wanted to let you know," Tsukauchi says to Aizawa. "Thanks. Question, did one of them have black hair?" Aizawa asks over the phone. "Yeah, you know him?" the detective asks. "No, just wondering." "So, Amane, huh? Why him? Why'd you choose him for an intern?" Aizawa asks. "I met the kid when he was younger a few times. He was blamed for things so often that I had to be brought in. He was always so smart and such a good kid. But I don't know if he'll even accept my offer. Maybe in the future, though," Tsukauchi says. And that's the end of the chapter. Here are the notes. Sorry, I meant for this chapter to be longer, but it ended up not as long as I was hoping. I wanted it to be longer than usual because of the last one being short. This is the regular amount, maybe a little bit longer than for a normal chapter. I won't be posting next week, so don't expect it. I may make something small for Halloween, but I'm not sure. Normally, they don't make things for, this is just me speaking, by the way. Normally, they don't make things for different, holidays and stuff because the timeline doesn't really fit. But sometimes they do. It really just depends. Also, I wanted to say that I'm not sure if you noticed, but the teacher is, I forget his name. Wait, let me see. Erased is Gaku Yashido. Gaku Yashido. Okay, so the teacher, his name is Gaku Yashido, but he's actually from Erased. I really love that show. It's 12 episodes, but it's like amazing, and I definitely suggest it. It's an anime. There is a live action version, but it's not very good. It's fine, I guess. But the storyline's a little bit different in that. I don't know. It used to be on Netflix, and depending on where you live, it might still be there. But that's, I think, where that was inspired from. It probably is, at least. I don't know. I really, really like that, though. So that was great. And I just wanted to say that because that's something cool I noticed. We've got Izuku and Bakugo dating, and I don't know what to say about that, but I'm, like, happy because I like Bakudeku, but, like, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. This is Tango signing off. Bye.